What is going on, y'all? I'd like to welcome you guys to my first official video. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you guys are ready because this one's about to be a banger. Today we're making blackened chicken with jalapeno cheddar mac and cheese. And this mac and cheese is from scratch. This isn't no Kraft Easy Mac. This isn't none of that. This is the real deal. This one came out really good. I'm so excited for y'all to watch this one. So without further ado, let's get right into it. What's going on, guys? So we're gonna pretty much start with a quick overview of the things that you'll need to go ahead and get started with this recipe. First things first is the chicken. I just grabbed some chicken from Publix. These are the thick chicken breasts. Don't do the cutlets, do the thick breasts. You'll save some money that way. And with these, we'll cut them down ourselves. It'll also be very nice, cutting your own little fillets of chicken. Non-GMO, this is some good chicken. It doesn't matter the brand, just as long as you get the thick breasts. And then the pasta we'll be using is cavatappi, aka corkscrews. These cook really nice and they hold sauce really well. Overall, a good choice. And then onto the seasonings, we got garlic salt. I just like this over just regular salt, but ultimately it's your call at the end of the day. Pepper, some red pepper flakes, and then blackened seasoning. It's the star of the show. Anybody from Land O'Lakes, there's a main ingredient store right on Collier. They have all kinds of seasonings, but right here is our blackened seasoning. If you don't know what goes in it, it has all the ingredients there. And then we're going to be using sharp cheddar cheese, butter, oil, and then milk, at least 2 cups of it, maybe a little bit more, depends on how you like your sauce. And then some minced garlic just for a little bit of flavor, and then flour. Also, you're going to need a jalapeno, aka jalapeno mac and cheese. And then as far as knives go, a chef's knife and a fillet knife. Fillet knife is optional, but it will make your life a lot easier. Trust me. All right, so we're going to start off with cutting our jalapeno. I like to cut off the top and the bottom just to make it a little bit easier to cut. And as you see, the cutting board slipping and sliding there. One tip to actually make this a little easier is to wet a paper towel and then put it underneath the cutting board. This is something I learned in culinary, and that'll help keep it in place, even if you have the little plastic rubber parts on the outside. But you're going to go ahead and just cut it lengthwise and then cut it into little pieces from there. We're going to mix some of it into the sauce and then some of it into the mac and cheese. You'll see as we go. But you just cut them down like that. Use the curve of the blade and just go with it and cut straight through. And you see me go ahead and fix the cutting board there. But yeah, go straight through, and then once it's all cut up, just go ahead and transfer it straight over to a bowl. All right, now we're going to get into cutting the chicken. If you notice any kind of skin or fat, just go ahead and cut it right off. And then what you're going to do with either your fillet knife, or you could do it with a chef's knife as well, is just horizontally cut right across the middle of the chicken. So now you're turning this one big breast into 2 equal size fillets. It makes it easier to cook. They're a little bit thinner, they sear better, and ultimately you don't have to worry. And then you just repeat this for all pieces of chicken that you want to cook. Now, once you have all your pieces cut, you just want to lay them out and get to seasoning. I used all the seasonings that I showed you earlier. I first hit it with some garlic salt, then some pepper, then some red pepper flakes, and then I go in with the blackened seasoning. Now, when it comes to the blackened seasoning, I'm telling you guys now, do not be shy. Trust me, when I was first introduced to it, I was super afraid to use a lot of it. It looked like it was a strong seasoning because it has a strong color. But believe it or not, it's very, very flavorful without overpowering the chicken or anything else around it. So you can go ahead and use a good amount of it. Make sure you get a nice even coverage, because this is what's going to give you guys the best possible sear when it's time to cook the chicken. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the chicken. I just heated up a skillet with a little bit of oil, put the heat at about between 5 and 6 on the stovetop, and then you just wanna lay it flat. Like I said, that seasoning is what's gonna give it that nice sear. You wanna let it cook about 3 to 4 minutes aside and then check it. You just want it to be 165 degrees. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and flip the chicken. Ooh, look at that sear. That is a perfect sear. That's what you're looking for right there. If you want the chicken to cook more evenly, you can go ahead and keep the lid on it. Now while that's going, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the sauce. So I melted down 2 tablespoons of butter, and I just put a little bit of the minced garlic and some of the jalapenos in there just to let them cook into the sauce, give a little bit of extra flavor. And then you're gonna also add your 2 tablespoons of flour. And then you wanna mix this up, let it cook down. This is what's known as a roux. This is the base for the most major sauces that you see. Any kind of cheese sauces, thick sauces, everything like that. And then you're gonna go ahead and add your 2 cups of milk. 2 cups is the base. You can add a little bit more if you want your sauce a little bit more liquidier, but it's ultimately your call. But as that's going, you go ahead and add the milk, and then you just stir everything all together until you get a nice, smooth, creamy consistency. At that point, you can go ahead and start adding the cheese. This is one of my favorite parts because when the sauce is nice and hot, the cheese melts really, really nice, and the color of the sauce really, really comes out. At this point, you can also add any kind of seasonings you want to this the sauce. What I like to do is add a little bit of garlic salt, some red pepper flakes, some pepper. You guys can ultimately add whatever you want. I have used tons of different seasonings when I've made this in the past, and everything comes out well. Now for our pasta, we just boiled it with 5 cups of water and a tablespoon of salt for about 8 minutes. That gave us a nice perfect al dente pasta. And then I just got this another 2 tablespoons of butter, and I rubbed it around the edge of the pan just to help the cheese crisp up a little bit, and it makes it a little less sticky. And then I go ahead and add the pasta in from there and just get it all nice and mixed around with the butter so it melts into the pasta and creates a nice consistency with it before we go ahead and add in the cheese sauce. Now we're going to go ahead and add our cheese sauce right there into the pan just like that. You want a nice, fully mixed, nice, smooth, even layer of this cheese. And as it sits, the pasta is naturally just going to absorb it. It's going to soak in, and it's going to come out tasting amazing. So once you get a nice, smooth, even layer of this, then we're going to go ahead and add the toppings. So now as for the toppings, I went ahead and added a little bit of habanero jack cheese that I had from the store left over. I had to use it. I just wanted a little bit more color, a little bit more kick, a little bit more flavor right on top. This cheese on top is what's going to create that nice, crispy layer at the top, around the edges, all that sort of goodness. And then I just put some extra cheddar jack cheese there on top. And then you want to make sure you spread it out nice and even. And then I also went ahead and put some more red pepper flakes on top as well to give it just a little bit more color on the top and also a little bit more kick. That's what I'm going for with this mac and cheese. And then I transferred it straight to the oven at 375, and I put it in there. You can have it for about 10 to 15 minutes depending on how crispy you like your mac and cheese. Just keep in mind, the longer that you have it in the oven, the drier and more crispier the mac and cheese is going to get. So just make sure you keep an eye on it. And here we have the finished product. Woo! Look at that. Nice little crispiness there. Nice little cheese on top, all nice and melted. And we got our nice little seared blackened chicken. Tons and tons of flavor here, guys. And then this is how it looks when it's plated up. Man, oh man. Sheesh. And there you guys have blackened chicken with jalapeno cheddar mac and cheese. This one was really, really good. And once again, I want to thank you guys very, 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 very much for staying all the way to the end, staying tuned, watching the whole entire thing. I had a lot of fun making this video, and there's way, way, way more to come. So stay tuned as of course, and leave a comment below if you guys want to see me do anything in particular. I'll take any ideas that you guys throw at me and I'll make it happen in a video. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and share this with your friends if you want them to learn how to cook. Remember, I'm putting you guys all on game. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see y'all next time.